Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, you gorgeous, gorgeous being. I hope this finds you well and welcome to your weekly messages for you living in your ultimate health, wealth, love, and evolution. This is my desire for you. These are the messages for you in that area. And I've had a shuffle and I'm just going to smoosh the cards around a bit, which is a very, very technical term. So don't worry if you don't quite understand it. Gonna smoosh them around a bit, and mostly because it's fun. Mostly because I'm enjoying it. Even though I've thoroughly shuffled, I'm going to split the deck. Oh, okay. Right. What do we do here with this? Okay, I'm going to take him out. I'm going to take them both out. Oh, okay. Maybe we have a 5 card spread for the week. How is this going to work? Okay. All plans out of the window. I just feel like I want to do this. I just feel like I want to do this. Okay. We're going with the flowing, as I say. Oh, thank you very much. We're going with the flowing. So this is what is happening for this week. Look, see, I don't even normally say I'm going to do health, wealth, love and evolution. Just take a bit of a look at these cards, because these are the cards that life wants you to see. And then I'm going to tell you what these cards are about. This is a very powerful message about the rising of the masculine energy, which is still coming through. No matter what I would like to give to you, I'm simply the vessel for whatever message wants to come. So, first card we have over here is the Emperor. Well, I feel like this top row has its own kind of energy and its own message. So the Emperor, Judgment, and the King of Swords. The Emperor really represents to me at this time the rise, the true rise of the divine masculine. This is about the re-emergence of the divine king archetype. Last week I called it Father God. It's the rounded, solid, supportive, present, wise, powerful, masculine energy, and it's coming into manifestation. Look out for even old, from the past, masculine archetypes for you in your experience. So it could be an ex, a father, a lover, an ex-lover, a brother, a colleague. It doesn't matter. Also, it doesn't necessarily have to be male, but it's in general on that side of things. Is emerging, re-emerging. So it's like this energy is emerging in everybody. But be on the lookout for changes. Somebody that you thought, so you might have a father figure that you believe is, I don't know, not very great. And suddenly they may start embodying this wise king energy. He is emerging. He is answering the call. I love this Judgment card because it really does, for me, indicate this meeting of heaven and earth, the stripped down human beings. We must confront ourselves in our humanity before we can connect up truly with our divinity. And the two are equal and intertwined. But this card, the narrative of this card for me really is about this experience of life stripping us bare. And then it's as though the natural progression is to hear heaven's call for you. And there is no heaven beyond your heaven. I think that's really, really important. You only need to live your heaven on earth, not anybody else's. And in the same breath, you shouldn't require anybody else to live your heaven either. But this Judgment card is about how this is this physical manifestation of this masculine energy. We then have the King of Swords on the right-hand side there. So these two powerful kings, it really represents this masculine energy. The King of Swords is the learned man, the professional, the knowing man, the intellectual man. So not only is he wise, he's intellectual and he has the ability to communicate that. Get ready for the rise of this powerful masculine being in the world, which is a good thing. Fourth card we have over here, fourth card of the five that wanted to come out, is this Four of Swords. This is about chilling out, relaxing. Can often be a card for me that means kind of meditation. It's just really quieting the mind, stilling the mind, allowing the mind to rest. It's allowing the mind to rest. And it can also symbolize for me some kind of waiting period or pause energy, as I call them, when I'm giving my personal private readings. It's a bit pausey. It's a bit pausey. It's a pause energy. So it's a bit of a waiting energy. But there's no waiting, you know. Anyone that has ever suffered from some kind of insomnia, which isn't what I'm feeling from this card, but anyone that suffers from any kind of insomnia will know that, yeah, if you're waiting for a night to pass, that might seem like an awake. That may seem like a difficult task, but if you're asleep, it's, you know, you close your eyes, you open your eyes again. So if you are at full rest, there is no hardship in the time passing, because it does indicate the return, again with the Six of Cups, the return of the masculine power player. And there is great power in him, but he is not controlling. This is the transition of the idea of the tyrant. So the masculine showing up as difficult and maybe controlling. That is ending, and what is emerging is the wisdom, the sense. The King of Swords is about sense. It's also about communication. He's also about learning to communicate. The narrative is he arrives immediately. That emperor, he arrives. Please check out the monthly full masculine feminine reading if you haven't. He arrives. And it's almost as though then he communicates his awakening, which never ends. Our humanity and our divinity interplaying never ends. But the King of Swords is able to communicate, so the narrative feels like I'm here and I can tell you this because this happened, and I can tell you all about how, and I want to tell you. But this secondary message here is kind of saying, well, not quite yet, in a bit. The return is coming. But please still yourself. It's a bit like, I remember I did have this fear. I had quite a traumatic childhood, very anxious, traumatic childhood actually. And that's all relative for me. But there were some things. And so I was a very anxious child, which I didn't actually realize until well into my adulthood. And because it was normal to me. But I remember having this fear about getting lost from my mother or my parents. From my mother, really, if out in pub, out and for a child to be lost is really, really scary. To not know where the mother is. But I remember I also had quick, it was always very quick thinking as well, I realise. And so I remember thinking, and this may have been later on, I couldn't have been that young, but that you've got to stay, or anytime I lost someone, you're out in public and you don't know where they are, you're better off to stay where you are rather than look for them. Because by staying where we are, that's how we reunite. That's really what these cards are saying. That can be more challenging because we feel like we're not doing anything. So this really represents beingness and not doing. In our beingness, then we can reunite. And that reuniting is on many levels. It's reuniting with the masculine, with the divine, wise king. With the wise, powerful, masculine power player. For real. He's not controlling. It's not about he's new. He hasn't been around for a while. He's returning. But we find him through rest, not through doing, through being and not through doing. So I hope that was powerful for you. I hope there are some wonderful messages. Lots and lots and lots of love. Have an incredible week. My heart is sending you directly right now a huge amount of what I call cosmic love. The love of us all. That's powerful. Go out and pass that on for me. Loads of love. There is no masculine feminine Vimeo reading this week because I am holding an online retreat, meditation and channeled messages retreat. I receive messages for you directly 24/7 about how you can be you truly in your life, living your love. And I would like to share this with you. It's going to be an hour and 15, maybe to an hour and a half. Most probably an hour and a half, knowing me. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week at 8 p.m. Eastern time, which will be recorded and available to you. So you're going to end up with 4 meditations that you can do available to you. So you can either watch it live with me over Zoom, or you can be sent the recording, and it will probably be a couple of hours after the event. So you'll get them pretty fast.
I find that people have the most shift when they spend direct time with me somehow. And that does require a little bit more investment, but everything you invest in life, you get equal return. It's just the way it works. So I would deeply, deeply invite you to join me. Click the link and join me on this e-retreat because it's up to date. It's just the best, it's the most up-to-date information. It's the best information available. Because things are shifting and changing all the time. There are big things going on right now with this masculine arriving. Lots of messages we need to know. We need to support him in his arrival, in us all. It's also that we need to be and not do right now. That's the biggest message. I want to help you to be and not do. Sometimes it's easier to be when we can have some extra information about what is going on in this moment. I am passionate about you living your truth in your life and feeling free, healthy, wealthy, loving, evolved. So please join me on this retreat this week. It's the first time I've done it. I've never done 4 days in a row. I'm really excited about it. As always, it moved through me. So it wants to happen. If that feels good to you and you feel like your heart wants to be there with me, which it is anyway. And if you want to know it is, join me on this e-retreat. And I will see you very, very soon. Lots and lots of love.